Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where I drink my coffee and talk about how crappy things are getting. And speaking of crappy things, let's talk about the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Yeah, who are both, let's see here. I don't think the Proud Boys have been sentenced yet, but they've been found guilty of something. I still don't understand how the hell this trial actually went forward, considering all the BS involved in it. I need to watch my language for the first couple minutes, or So yeah, if you want to see these articles, I've got two here in particular, and they're both going to be they are on the collapseexperiment.com. And the first one is by Rachel Alexander. How the legal system was abused with lawfare to convict the Proud Boys for J6. Abuse of the legal system? Or no way. Not in this country. That doesn't happen. Yeah, it does. 5 Proud Boys were convicted by a jury last week for criminal acts related to J6. But no one really believes they did anything more violent than BLM and Antifa. That's true. I don't recall the Proud Boys causing $2 billion of damage in one summer. Anybody else? Anybody else remember that? I sure as hell don't. Actually, in the city that I moved from, Kalamazoo, Michigan, we were visited by Antifa and BLM, and then later the Proud Boys. Guess which one of the two didn't fuck up my city? All right, so let's move on. Thousands of the later cases involving violence have been dismissed. U.S. District Court Judge Timothy Kelly allowed the Proud Boys to be portrayed to the heavily biased jury using language selected for its incendiary value to portray a distorted picture, including telling the jury about actions by others that weren't even taken by the 5. That is some bullshit. So they're being convicted for basically the actions of other people. How the hell does that work? It didn't help that the MSM included language in most articles about J6 as storming the Capitol instead of a mostly peaceful protest. No, fiery, but no, wait, there was no fire. So it was just a mostly peaceful protest. Huh. It's weird how it actually fits the narrative here when you use that phrase. They could have easily done the latter because the 5 brought no weapons, assaulted no officers, and Proud Boy leader Enrique Ontario wasn't even at J6. He was in custody. He was in a jail cell, but he got convicted for actions that he 100% could not have possibly done because he was already in custody. It's like, yeah, some of you guys robbed a bank and we're going to convict you of it. I wasn't there. Too bad. Prosecutors repeatedly played clips of Donald Trump in an effort to manipulate the Trump hating jury. Why? This is a fucking show trial. That's all that this is. This is complete 100% bullshit, and these people are political prisoners. Political. This is a banana republic. This is not the type of thing that's supposed to happen here. And I seem to remember from 2016 until, I don't know, 2020, didn't we hear the phrase banana republic all the time? From the left. Oh, this is Banana Republic. Look at the horrible shit Donald Trump's doing. So why the fuck are they acting that way now? Trump said, stand back and stand by. And context, maybe. I don't know. How is that important? And encourage supporters to come to J6 with, it will be wild. Yeah, that's what they said about the Girls Gone Wild videotapes. And your point is, I don't understand the argument that they're making here. Neither of these sound like a call to violence anyway. Trump frequently called in talks in hyperbole, but one juror admitted afterwards that asked why he voted to convict, that Trump's remarks were part of it. Were they convicting Trump or were they convicting the Proud Boys? This doesn't make any sense. In order for there to have been a conspiracy with Trump's beckoning, Trump would have been required to be involved too, but he never spoke with the Proud Boys about J6. That's weird. It's almost like these people are conspiracy theorists. You know, the type that they don't like, the ones that they're always talking shit about, the ones that are, you're just a conspiracy theorist. This is conspiracy theory bullshit, okay? When I say conspiracy theory, it's, well, this is the truth, and we'll find out in 2 weeks when there's evidence brought out that this is true. In this case, it's all bullshit, and they're just making stuff up. Okay. Where the hell am I? Most of the 5 men convicted of seditious conspiracy and other felonies, the sedition charge has been rarely used in U.S. history. Yeah, because it means you could possibly be executed. Except against secessionist rebels during the Civil War and against Oath Keepers involved with J6 earlier this year, which I will get to in a minute. The jury was told that seditious conspiracy didn't merely mean overthrow the government through force. It had a much broader meaning of interference with the government by use of force. So they're changing the definition to fit what they want it to do. That makes that's basically what they've been doing. It's kind of like the ATF switching what the definition of a machine gun is. It's a metal part. Okay. Kelly ruled that jurors could convict on conspiracy even if they found that there is no plan to disrupt the certification of the. Wait, what? Kelly, who is an asshole, ruled that jurors could convict on conspiracy even if they found there was no plan to disrupt the certification of the election, but merely an unspoken agreement. How the fuck do you have a conspiracy if they didn't speak to each other about how to do this? Whatever that means to do so. Okay, unspoken agree. What the hell? This is a joke, and these people need to be released. Obviously, this overly broad interpretation could be used to convict anyone engaged in civil disobedience. Bring it on. Let's go after BLM and Antifa. Seriously, let's fill those fucking prisons right now. All right. Yeah, broad interpretation for anyone engaged in civil disobedience. Mike Huckabee observed the language is vague enough to facilitate the criminal prosecution of public dissent. Martin Luther King Jr., Vietnam War protesters, and those protesting national COVID-19 restrictions could all be convicted. No, asshole, throw in BLM and Antifa. Why are you talking about COVID-19 restrictions? That means that you're basically pointing the finger at anybody that the left doesn't like. Mike Huckabee, pull your head out of your ass, okay? So anybody that's basically what they did with the Wolverine Watchmen. Oh, you protested in Lansing? Yeah, we're gonna convict you of some bullshit that we just made up. It sets a very chilling precedent. Tarrio's instructions to create a spectacle at the Capitol was used to make jurors think that he intended violence. But the Proud Boys are well known for their pattern of reacting to violence, not starting it. That is 100% fact. The jurors are extremely biased against the defendants. 6 had participated in left-wing protester marches. That this case needs to be thrown out. That is not a jury of their peers. And not a single one gave any indication of being conservative. Yet the judge cannot grant one of these 16 requests for change of venue out of Trump-hating DC. 16 requests. If there's no way that they can have a fair trial, you don't have a trial. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. An FBI agent was caught deleting and withholding over 1,000 Excel rows of messages she had written, but nothing happened. Yes, this is one of the events during the trial where, again, this should have just been thrown out. That kind of behavior often results in prosecutions being completely thrown out. The messages included a directive from FBI personnel to the agent to destroy 338 pieces of evidence. Kelly refused to let the defense cross examine the agent over it. Kelly needs to be fired, homeless, living on Skid Row. This person has no business being a judge whatsoever. This is incompetence. Kelly also refused to allow the jury to see 80 of the lines. Again, this is evidence that was not disclosed to the defense. So either throw out the case or fucking quit. Quit your job, Kelly. You're an asshole. Prosecutors collected over 500,000 text messages from the Proud Boys in a fishing expedition. Even the New York Times admitted none set forth an explicit plan to storm the building or to forcibly disrupt the election certification taking place inside. In fact, when someone suggested in a text to storm the Capitol, Tarrio did not endorse the plan. Even prosecutors admitted the protest was spontaneous. Again, that goes back to the horrible definition of what seditious conspiracy, sedition, whatever the fuck they believe sedition to be now. This is what the hell? Yeah, this oh my god. This whole thing is just completely insane. Okay, so where the hell was I? Okay, there I am. Jurors admitted afterwards that they convicted the Proud Boys based on the fact that 5 had deleted text messages. It's their text messages. They can do whatever the fuck they want without even knowing what the messages said. Prosecutors scared other Proud Boys into saying negative things about the 5, giving them details in exchange for cooperation. Kelly denied at least 10 requests for a mistrial from defense attorneys because he's an asshole. Judges don't care to treat those prosecuted for J6 like regular Americans prosecuted for protesting, since they don't want to be forever known the rest of their lives as election denier judges. What? It's okay for Hillary to deny the 2016 election. Al Gore it was okay for him to deny the 2000 election. I don't understand what this election denier bullshit is. Harassed everywhere they go. Looking at Kelly's previous decisions, there are signs he wasn't going to rule favorably. No shit. When Trump banned obnoxious CNN reporter Jim Acosta from the White House, CNN sued and Kelly ruled in Acosta's favor. Okay, but didn't Biden just kick there's some news agency right now that's not allowed to be at the White House anymore? Like, isn't that a thing? I'm pretty sure that just happened. It's now being ignored that there was no violent reaction across the country in response to the verdicts. The irony here is it's really the left that engages in violence when they don't get their way. The facts have to be distorted and provocateurs planted within right-wing protest in order to attempt to portray the right as violent. Yeah. So anyways, there's a few more paragraphs, but you get the point. This was not a fair trial. It certainly wasn't a speedy trial. The charges are 100% bullshit, and it was not a jury of their peers. The judge is a complete asshole. And this is just 100% a farce. And this is not what our country is supposed to be. So, moving on to the Oath Keepers, again, another fun little trial. DOJ seeks 25-year prison sentence for Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes. Now, from my understanding, and this is not reading the article here, the Oath Keepers are people who are either former military, EMS, law enforcement. Uh, you get the point. These are people who took an oath to help and preserve the country, the Constitution. They take it seriously. It's a group that really the federal government should be like, these are good guys. After all, you hired them. So yeah, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. This article is from the Epoch Times. The U.S. Department of Justice is seeking a 25-year prison sentence for Oath Keepers founder Elmer Stewart Rhodes, who was found guilty at trial of seditious conspiracy and other J6 related charges. Such a sentence would be far from the longest of any J6 criminal prosecution, which is, again, all of these are complete 100% bullshit. They all need to be pardoned, and the left can go fuck themselves. In the 183-page sentencing memorandum, there's a PDF right here, filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, the DOJ also recommended prison sentences from 10 to 21 years for 7 other Oath Keepers and an associate who found guilty and an associate who were found guilty during the trials in 2022 and early 2023 of various J6 crimes. What? Protesting? I still don't understand what the hell the problem is here. It was a protester who was shot. These defendants were prepared to fight, not for their country, but against it. You don't represent the country anymore, asshole. That's the fucking problem. In their own words, they are willing to die in a guerrilla war to achieve their goal of halting the transfer of power after the 2020 presidential election. As a co-conspirator recognized their actions made these defendants traitors. Let's take a look at this statement here. Guerrilla war with no weapons. Guerrilla war. That's really what you're going with here. You're comparing this to what? Vietnam and Korea? No weapons whatsoever. And you're saying that these people are engaging in warfare. They're willing to die. One person was killed, and it was by a Capitol police officer who, hey, fuck it. Let's go with the left right here, okay? You have a black male police officer who shoots a white veteran woman who was unarmed. But for some reason, that was justified. Through a wall, by the way, where he doesn't know who the hell or what the hell he's shooting at. He shoots through the wall. Anybody else in this country would have been convicted and thrown in a cell. But no. That'd be racist, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the justification. It's complete 100% bullshit. And really, at this point in time, if somebody broke into my house and I shot them through a wall, I'd just say, hey, they set the standard. He did it. I felt threatened. Let's see here. Let's see. Other defendants in the DOJ sentence recommendations include Kelly Meggs, 21 years. Jessica Watkins, 18 years. Roberto Menuda, 17. These are insane. Nothing happened. Is Joe Biden president? So what did they accomplish if this is really what they're complaining about? The chief complaint here is we didn't go along with their lying bullshit. That's what they're complaining about. They lied about the election. Probably just got another strike. But people called them out on it, and that is their issue. In crafting the recommendations, prosecutors applied enhancers and upward departures from sentencing guidelines for aggravating factors such as obstruction and the role each defendant allegedly played in J6. What role? Seriously, nothing happened. Joe Biden is president. What are you complaining about? The fact that we didn't like it? I'm having a hard time understanding what the freaking problem is. As legal challenges to the election sputtered, the President Trump gave no indication that he would invoke the Insurrection Act to halt the certification of the election. The sentencing memo reads these defendants explicitly discussed the need to use any means necessary up to and including the use of force to oppose the transfer of power, and they began to focus on J6 as a day of action for their objective. No, that's not what happened. They just wanted to be heard, like BLM and Antifa. For an entire summer before this, you set the standard, asshole. And guess what? They didn't burn down anybody's shops. They didn't kill anybody. There wasn't any cars destroyed. What are you complaining about? There was no autonomous region that was created outside the Capitol. You set the standard. You said all of that was okay. As long as they follow your example, right? That's what makes it okay. As long as you're voting for us, we don't give a shit what you do. Then on J6, the defendants seized the opportunity to advance their conspiratorial goal by participating in the attack on the Capitol, an attack with no weapons. The attack on the Capitol. You really need to work on your definition of stuff. Prosecutors told jurors in the first two Oath Keeper trials that the group conspired to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Because the election itself really wasn't all that peaceful. Now, was it? To Joe Biden and then President Donald J. Trump, defendants seized the opportunity. Then president. No, he still has the title of president. You still call Obama President Obama. Jimmy Carter is still President Jimmy Carter. This whole not acknowledging the fact that Trump was ever president is bullshit. Even I didn't like Trump being president at first. Okay. But that doesn't change the fact that he's not the president or was the president, then president. An attempt to stymie the ceremonial counting of electoral college votes from the 2020 presidential election. Defense attorney said there is no plan nor a conspiracy to halt certification. They said the Oath Keepers didn't attack the Capitol because they didn't. Although some members entered the building on the afternoon of J6, probably waved in by cops, and rendered assistance to police, which they are on video doing. Interesting, isn't it? The Oath Keepers were in Washington that day to provide event security and VIP protection for permit-approved rallies, according to the attorneys. Oh, they got permits, but I guess they weren't allowed to use them. Didn't enter the Capitol. Rhodes said he was convicted not for anything he did on J6, but for who he is and for speech that's protected by the First Amendment. Yeah, 100%. I did not enter the Capitol, nor did I instruct anyone else to enter the Capitol. Case closed. Let the dude go. He said in a 46-page reflection written from his jail cell. There's a link to that if you want to check it out. And yet, here I sit because of who I am and because of what I said, my political speech, not because of anything constituting an actual crime, not because of anything I actually did. We don't do this in this country. So, what the hell is happening here? So, this guy, they want to have him do, what is this, 25 years for not entering a building and because he said things they don't like. This is the act of immature children. Joe Biden, the cone licker, the child sniffer. Um, this is what they're doing to our own people. I guess we killed all the terrorists over the last 20 years. I guess going overseas, um, killing the heads of state, disrupting peace and order in other countries. I guess we ran out of things to do, which is why we're going after Russia right now. Does this stuff stop when we actually declare war on Russia? That's what I want to know. Because it seems like if they don't have an enemy to go after somewhere else, they have to create one here. It happened during the 90s as well. Oh, these militia groups. Militias didn't do shit in the 90s. They robbed some banks in the 80s. That's it. As for all of this stuff happening here, oh no, people are organized. Well, that's protected by the Constitution, the First Amendment, to peacefully assemble. These people peacefully assembled, and then you had a bunch of federal provocateurs go in and say, like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Ray Epps. Yeah, the people who started the problem are the same ones who are getting paid by our tax dollars. That is what's happening here. So yeah, Rhodes doesn't need to be in prison. They need to let him go. And when it comes to a lot of these militia groups, they were created by the feds. Their Facebook pages, the actual leaders are either informants or agents themselves, yada, 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 PatCon. So a lot of this is 100% bullshit, and the people who should be prosecuted are paid by the federal government to provoke the crimes that they say are happening. So again, these trials 100% bullshit. This is a show trial. These are political prisoners, and if the UN had actually any power whatsoever, they would be looking at the United States right now saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" But no, they're absolutely useless. We are the armed guard of the UN, therefore we're exempt from any type of international law and doing all the illegal stuff that they're doing now, locking people up for differences of opinion is what this is. Oh, you didn't go along with us when it came to how we did things to make sure certain people were put in office. We'll brag about it in a fucking news article. Yeah. So this is what's happening, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. None of this should be happening whatsoever. None of these people should be going to prison, especially for years. Misdemeanors. They're getting years for misdemeanors. As for the sedition conspiracy bullshit, zero evidence. Zero evidence was presented. They're going by things, taking things out of context that Donald Trump said in order to send people to prison. These jurors need an ass kicking. Seriously. What the hell are they thinking? And I've been on a jury twice, and the first one, holy shit, I was stuck in a room with some of the dumbest sons of bitches ever to have fucking walked this planet. It was insane. Okay. I was stuck in a room full of stupid. As for the second one, no, we pretty much had our shit together, and we were done within, I think, under an hour. We were all just like, this is all kind of a joke. Of course, it was a civil case, whatever. But the fact that the jury went along with this garbage, I'd be scared out of my mind if I had a fucking jury trial, because the level of stupid that is in this country that goes along with this bullshit. Derek Chauvin. Oh, well, there's protesters and we were being threatened. So what else were we supposed to do? Are you serious? You sent a man to prison because you're scared for your own life. How pathetic are you? So yeah, that's That's what we're looking at today. The Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys going to prison for question mark. I I don't know. I have no idea other than the Biden administration doesn't like them. On the upside, at least they weren't killed in a car accident by the CIA, like, I don't know, some reporters back in 2013. Um, I'm, you know, I'm glad that they don't have pornography being stuck on their computers like other reporters that are currently going to trial. There's this long history of like framing people for other garbage, and in this case, they have to make it up. Like they're not even framing them; they're just making it up. Oh, they committed a crime because we say they did. Oh, okay, we'll go along with that. 25 years. Um, this is all just a complete and utter joke, and it's really sad. Like they couldn't even frame these people. That's the worst part. They're like, there's no question that they're good people. There's none. It's just like they don't have anything else on them. They just make up a charge and they ran with it. And even when they went fishing in their text messages, there was nothing there. And still 25 years for nothing. This is not supposed to happen here. This is no longer the United States of America. This is a shithole. We are now the shithole that Donald Trump talked about elsewhere. We turned into that by electing garbage, and letting these people keep power. They're not supposed to have power. They're supposed to be a representation of us. We're supposed to have the power. And we completely forget that. So, yeah, that is where we're at. We are now throwing people in prison for having a difference of opinion. And if these were homeless people on a subway car in New York City, and yeah, you were able to create some type of bogus story behind it, there would be people protesting and rioting. But no, that is not what we do. We try to use the system that obviously doesn't fucking work anymore. Obviously, like there's nothing here. And that is one of the reasons they got rid of Tucker Carlson, because he was exposing them for the bastards that they are. So that is where we're at. And before I exhaust myself of being angry first thing in the morning, I am going to leave it at that. And you can check out these two articles for yourself at thecollapseexperiment.com. And remember, this is also in podcast format. If you don't like watching the videos and seeing my ugly face, you can go and check it out on Spotify or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. So yeah, this is 100%. This country is a joke at this point, and it's sad to see. Keep on typing.